Good evening, everyone. I'm recording live from Durban. It's a Saturday night. We know that we recently had a, a historic meeting between President Museveni of Uganda and President Ramaphosa of South Africa. President Museveni visited South Africa after a very long time not visiting South Africa. If you look at the map, you can see the distance between Uganda and South Africa. It's not very near. So it's a very vast continent, as you are aware, and the region SADC is vast. That's why when you talk about SADC, people lose their minds because it's just so many countries. They become overexcited to know that they have such a huge region to traverse and to look for opportunities. On the South African side, President Ramaphosa emphasized the importance of South Africans investing in the Ugandan economy, particularly investing in the banking sector in Uganda, and also making sure that African free trade is implemented. It's not something that is talked about. And we can see the large volumes of goods that are passing by our railroads. You see goods trains that are longer than you've ever seen before. Even on the roads, you see trucks carrying containers, meaning that there is a lot of trade happening. Whether it's within South Africa or it also goes to the region, I do not know. But you can see the volume has increased of trade, particularly when I'm looking at it from the perspective of Durban, where we have the port. Uh, just as a by the way, uh, President Ramaphosa congratulated President Museveni on being the incoming chair of the non-aligned movement. You will know that there are many wars that are being fought around the world, particularly the war in Russia and Ukraine, the war of NATO and Russia, and particularly the war against the Jews in Israel and the Arabs in Israel, the Palestinians. So there are those issues in the world. So when we see two leaders of countries that are experiencing relative peace, we know that Uganda, for example, there is the Resistant Army founded by Joseph Kony, but they are able to work together in a diplomatic way to find solutions for Africa and particularly for SADC. On the part of the Ugandans, Museveni gave a historical view to say that what we already know that the ANC is the oldest liberation movement founded in 1912 to liberate Africa, meaning that it started the anti-colonial movement as a political movement. Of course, all the wars that were fought at that time were anti-colonial wars, but it became a political movement which inspired many other African countries. Of course, he mentions that only Ethiopia was not colonized when the rest of Africa was colonized, meaning that the Ethiopians somehow escaped colonialism. Museveni went further to say Pan Africanism is not about emotion, but it's something that is scientific. What he meant by that, I do not understand. But he said it. He said it's not something emotional, it's something scientific. Meaning that when you are saying that you are implementing Pan Africanist ideals, they must be borne out in reality. It must not be something that you preach about, but something that has a result, something that has been implemented over a long period of time to see whether it works or it doesn't work. And then he says, in Pan Africanism, we ask very simple questions, or they ask very simple questions to say, do you want to be prosperous? How do you want to be prosperous? So, so that your mind starts to first determine whether you want to be prosperous or not, so that you are not, we don't preach to a person who doesn't want to be prosperous about prosperity. Uh, if you want to be prosperous, then you have to find out how are you going to be prosperous. So there are so many ways to be prosperous in Africa. Of course, there are risks attached to prosperity as well, because the more prosperous you are, the more risks you face from people generally. So according to Museveni, his philosophical view is that the good life is a sign of prosperity. So he might be looking at it from an Aristotelian perspective to say he's in pursuit of the good life, maybe a life of the golden mean. I don't understand his philosophy because he's a one line man. But what Museveni uh, presented, the universal primary and secondary education, uh, what I didn't understand was, is he saying that because universal means the world, does he say that now the Ugandans have developed a curriculum that can be taught across the world, or maybe across SADC? But if it's universal, it means across the world, so that people know the important things of the world. Is that what it means, or does it just say it means that it's universal to, it means universal but limited to Uganda? So meaning it's national education basically, but being called universal education. Of course, he spoke about M23, which is a rebel movement. We know that it has killed SADC peacekeepers, many of them who were South Africans, many of them of the Basotho descent, and of course, Stradom, a famous surname in the political history of South Africa. Uh, But Museveni says it's not only M23 which is a problem, but there are also other organizations, military organizations that are operating in Goma. But he admits that M23 has taken over Goma, meaning that it is now the government, the rebel government of Goma. So now he also mentioned something which is of very importance in terms of military strategy, and also in terms of filling the void that has been left by the withdrawal of SADC, particularly South African soldiers from the SADC mission. He says that as East Africans now they are going to take the matters into their own hands and fight against the rebels in Goma. Now you ask yourself, is the DRC part of East Africa or is it in Central Africa? And what are the strategic objectives of the Ugandans vis-a-vis Goma and also the rest of the Congo? So those are some of the questions that need to be discussed to say, was it not better when the mission was a SADC mission rather than now being an East African mission, meaning that it's going to be controlled by people from East Africa who have their own history and who might have their own interest in the war. So that is what has filled the void that has been left by the withdrawal of the South African troops from Goma after the tragedy of losing so many soldiers, so many peacekeepers. I think that is our lesson for today on African diplomacy between Museveni and President Ramaphosa. Thank you.